Hello everyone, this is George here with the Brooklyn Review YouTube channel. In this channel, we normally do info sessions and strategy sessions on standardized tests such as GRE, IELTS, GMAT, SAT and TOEFL. Okay. We also offer strategies and tips and techniques for these tests. Right. So today I'm going to talk about the GRE syllabus or the GRE curriculum. Right. Before I start talking about the GRE curriculum or the GRE syllabus, I must inform you that GRE is basically offered in two different versions. Okay, one of the GRE versions is called the GRE General Test. The other version is called GRE Subject Test. Right? Since majority of the Indian students take the GRE General Test, I'm going to talk about the GRE General Test first. All right. So without any further ado, I'm going to talk about it. Right? The GRE General Test has got three different areas, or three major sections rather. The first section is known as Analytical Writing Assessment or AWA. Some people even call it AWA. Right? So the Analytical Writing Assessment section or AWA or AWA consists of two different essays. So one of the essays is called Analysis of an Issue. The other one is called Analysis of an Argument. Right? So the analysis of an issue is a normal essay. You will have to write an essay on a given topic. Okay? And the topics that you're going to get in the GRE test, general test, are all given in the ETS website. Okay, you can visit the website and you should understand that these questions are actually the buffer questions wherein you are going to get all the questions. Right? So there may be slight differences in terms of the words that are actually used in these questions that are given in the website from whatever that are actually offered in the real examination. All right. So that is the analysis of an issue, and you will normally have to have some basic understanding of introduction, body of the essay and conclusion of this particular task. So if you have some idea about writing a normal essay, you will be all right in this particular section. But I'm sure getting training and understanding this particular task much more closer and diligently will definitely help you and keep you in good stead in the GRE examination. Right. Now let me talk about the other task in AWA, the other essay in AWA. This is known as Analysis of an Argument, and in this particular case you will have to develop a critic of an argument that is provided to you. When I say critic, a critic of an argument that is provided to you. All right. So the issue based essay basically talks about developing an argument of your own. The argument essay is talking about identifying the logical fallacies inbuilt in somebody else's argument. Okay. So issue based essay deals with your own argument. The argument essay deals with somebody else's argument. So your job is to identify the logical fallacies inherent in the argument. Now, in order to do this properly, you need to have some understanding of some basic concepts. Okay, the first concept that you should know in argument essay is an argument. Okay, so you should understand what is basically an argument, and basically if you understand an argument, you know that argument has got something called a conclusion. Every argument has a conclusion. And you will also normally have some supporting information which is known as premise or evidence. Alright. So apart from understanding the conclusion or premise or evidence, you should understand concepts like assumption, okay, which is otherwise known as suppressed evidence or a suppressed premise. You will also have to have some idea about assumptions that are present in the argument. Okay, sometimes the author gives all the evidences and probably keep away from giving you that conclusion. Okay, in such cases, you will have to draw conclusion, and if you are drawing a conclusion, that is known as inference. All right. Now, so apart from understanding the argument, conclusion, premise or evidence, assumption, inferences, sometimes you should also understand that the authors draw multiple conclusions before coming to the final conclusion. If an argument has got multiple conclusion and the conclusion that is offered chronologically first is called intermediate conclusion, right? And sometimes there are some elements that would actually go against the final conclusion in an argument, and that concept is known as counter premise. So basically, don't be confused. I'm just telling you, in order to do well in your argument essay, in order to do a proper argument essay, you need to have some idea about these concepts. That means argument, conclusion, premise or evidence, assumption, inference, intermediate conclusion, and counter premises. Apart from that, you should also be able to identify the common fallacies that may come in or be a part of the argument structure or the logic, right? So your analytical writing assessment or AWA or AWA, 2 essays. So the essay will be for 30 minutes, each essay will be for 30 minutes, so that your issue based essay you will be given 30 minutes. The argument essay also you will be given 30 minutes. So which means the AWA, entire analytical writing assessment section, will be for 1 hour, alright. And so there is no word limit as such. So whatever that you can write within half an hour time should be your AWA or your AWA, right. So since I talked about the first section, AWA or AWA or analytical writing assessment in the GRE test, the GRE general test, now I should talk about the other 2 sections. So the next section that immediately comes after the analytical writing assessment section could be a verbal reasoning section or a quantitative reasoning section. So the verbal reasoning section is nothing but a combination of your English language skills and your reasoning skills, okay. So it is not just your English, it is English plus your reasoning skills to a great extent, right. So this verbal reasoning section has got 3 different question types. Almost 50% of your verbal reasoning section questions are reading comprehension questions. Then you'll also get something called sentence equivalence questions and text completion questions. I'll talk about all of them one by one, each one of these question types one by one. First I'm going to talk about sentence equivalence. What is sentence equivalence? Sentence equivalence, you will be given a single sentence, and this sentence will have some incomplete part, a single blank, and this will be followed by 6 different choices, and you'll have to choose 2 different answer choices which will lead to 2 identical sentences. That means 1 sentence, 1 blank, 6 choices, you'll have to choose 2 options from this particular question type. So that's what sentence equivalence is all about. So you should create 2 equal sentences. That's why they are called sentence equivalence. Now let me move on and talk about text completion questions. Text completion question is a kind of an extension of sentence equivalence question. Here also you will be doing fill in the blanks, but the difference here is you are given more than 1 sentence. So a typical text completion question can be a single sentence or it can go up to 5 sentences. That means you may get a single sentence or you may get a paragraph even, right. Now, so the blanks can be, it can be a single blank question or it can be multiple blank question. That means you may get a single blank or a double blank or even a triple blank question in text completion, right. So if it is a single blank question, you will be given 5 different options. If they are multiple blanks, that means more than 1 blank, for each blank you will get 3 options each. So that's what it is. So text completion question, unlike the sentence sequence question, each blank works or operates independently. In sentence sequence question, one of your answer choices should actually be matching with the other choice, all right. So that means you are creating 2 equal sentences and the answer choices are connected to each other. Whereas in text completion, your answer choices are actually not connected to one another. All of them can be functioning independently, right. Now, so this gives us another opportunity that you don't really have to always start completing your first blank, that you can start with your third blank if it is easy, or second blank if it is actually easier than the first and third blank. So the choice is actually left to you to decide, all right. So text completion questions basically measures your overall ability of understanding the complete text, that means a paragraph, right. Now I'm going to actually talk about the reading comprehension part, which is, as I already told you, 50% of your GRE verbal reasoning questions, all right. In reading comprehension, you will actually get short passages, long passages, as well as logic based passages. If you look at simply the size of it, you may get long passages as well as short passages. Majority of them are single paragraph passages, right? You will actually get tentatively up to 10 passages, okay? So majority of it, like 5 or 6 or even 7 or 8 such passages would be single paragraph passages, okay? 1 or 2 passages would be multiple paragraph passages, okay? You may get a single question from a single paragraph or a passage. You may actually get up to 6 questions from a passage, right? So, but that is actually a very, very rare phenomenon. As I told you, majority of your passages would be a single paragraph passage, right? So the topics are actually taken from different subject areas such as biological sciences, physical sciences, business, arts, humanities. So far I have been talking about the analytical writing assessment section as well as the verbal reasoning section of the GRE general test. Now I am going to talk about the quantitative reasoning section of the GRE general test. Alright. So the verbal reasoning section is called verbal reasoning section because it tests your linguistic ability as well as your reasoning ability. The quantitative reasoning section is called quantitative reasoning or simply quant because it tests your ability in mathematics as well as your reasoning skills, right? Now having said that, now I must tell you about the question types that you are going to encounter in the quantitative reasoning section. Now there are majorly 4 different question types, namely the first one is called quantitative comparison, right? The second one is multiple choice questions with select one answer, and the third one is multiple choice questions, select multiple answers, and the fourth one is numeric entry, right? Now what is quantitative comparison question type? In this particular question type, you will be given 2 quantities, quantity A and quantity B, right? And your job is to determine relationship between the two, making a comparison, right? Your answer choice A will be, it will say quantity A is greater, okay? Your answer choice B would say quantity B is greater. Your answer choice C would say quantity A and B are equal, right? And your fourth choice, choice D, would say relationship between these 2 quantities cannot be determined based on the information that is provided, okay? So that's what actually quantitative comparison, it is called quantitative comparison because you are comparing 2 distinct quantities, right? Now let's actually talk about the other question type, that is called multiple choice question with select one answer. So you will get multiple choice question, that means you will get a question and you will actually get multiple answer choices, but you'll have to choose only one as the correct answer, right? Now multiple choice question with select multiple answer options, basically pretty much the same thing, only one difference. Here you will be given a question, multiple choices are given to you, but you will have to select more than one answer in most of the contexts, right? So that's why it's called multiple choice question, select multiple answers. So the next question type is called numeric entry, all right? In numeric entry question, you will have to enter your answers in numerals either. So normally you will be given 2 different boxes, you'll have to enter the numbers in the boxes, all right? In certain cases, for example, if it is an integer or a decimal, you'll have to write the answer in a single box or a single block. But if you get a fraction as the answer, you have to write the fraction in 2 different boxes. So that's what numeric entry questions would be. Now all this quantitative comparison, multiple choice question with a single answer, multiple choice question with multiple answers, and numeric entry, all these questions would let us scattered across different subject areas. For example, numbers, percentages, statistics, probability, permutation, combination, geometry, data interpretations, progressions, functions, algebra, generally word problems, and these are the different subject areas you will normally have to deal with in the GRE quantitative reasoning section. So most often you will actually get a data set which is normally given in the form of a table or a graph, and whatever the data that is actually provided in that, you will actually get multiple questions from that particular data set, or you will have to solve problems. So typical mathematical problems, but you probably wouldn't actually venture out and do all the problems in the complex way that you normally would do in a mathematical exam, right? So that's what your part of the mathematics or quantitative reasoning section is. Now, so as I talked about the GRE journal test, the different sections of the GRE journal test, I'll just summarize whatever that just said. First and foremost, the GRE journal test measures your ability in 3 different areas. The key areas are analytical writing assessment. It has got 2 different essays. One is called analysis of an issue, the other one is called analysis of an argument, right? The verbal listening section has got 3 different question types: sentence equivalence, text completion, and reading comprehension, right? So when it comes to the quantitative reasoning section, it has got majorly 4 different question types. They are quantitative comparison, multiple choice question with one answer, multiple choice question with multiple answers, and numeric entry, right? So that concludes the basic information about the GRE journal tests. All right, I will talk more about each of these sections separately in a separate video in detail. If you want to really, if you're interested in knowing details about some of the video, some of this information, you can watch some of our videos where we'll do separate videos for each of the sections, probably even have a look at the question types. We will also do sample questions also, and if you want to really know more about it, keep watching and subscribe to our channel. You will be able to actually get the latest updates. All right, now having talked about the GRE journal test, I'll briefly talk about the GRE subject test. So the syllabus for the GRE subject test, it's very simple. GRE journal test is normally offered for students who are planning to pursue higher studies in a specific subject area in top schools, right? So the subject tests are offered in 6 different subject areas. The first one is biology, second one is chemistry, and the third one is physics. The fourth one is maths, and the fifth one is literature and English, and the sixth one is psychology. So these are the different subject areas